Hey everyone, it's me. How you doing? Today I'm going to do a review of the film The Burning. Wait a minute. I thought you didn't have this movie. You couldn't find it. Well, I found it. Luckily, I was just scoping through one of my local video stores. It wasn't one of those big businesses. It was just one of those standard stores that had like a few DVDs, and this was luckily one of them. So I said, "What the hell?" Um, so I watched it, and it actually made me surprised. I didn't know what to expect. Um, this has to be the greatest slasher film I have ever seen in my entire life. Um, the theme song almost reminds me of Zombie's theme song, the Zombie theme song, or Zombie 2. I don't know why, it just sort of reminds me of that. I never understood why. Now, this came out a year after Friday the 13th, but whoever started that whole. But that doesn't necessarily mean that Friday the 13th was uh that this copy of Friday the 13th being camp film, because being a year later, this probably was in production at a different time. So yeah, the thing about this movie is there's not that much of a body count for a slasher. Um, there's probably as much. There is a body count, but there also isn't. Like, the only real body count you get is with the that one raft scene, and that scene kind of bothered me in a way. There's six of, like, I think there were six of them, and there's just this one guy, and they couldn't like do something. I mean, they like knocked him off the boat, and where was he hiding on that raft? Was he hiding under the raft? Well, he obviously wasn't, because it was perfectly dry, and if you see that raft, you can't really hide under it without like moving it around, so they obviously would have noticed something. And he like goes like this for like 30 seconds. So, but I don't know. That's just nitpicking for me. I don't know. That's just, yeah. It's not that big of a deal. It's just like, come on. When I was in Scouts, it's just like I would have just like when I was in Scouts, it just came to mind just like, hey, push him off or do something. And the ending of this movie is just awesome. Like, it just gives me goosebumps. Um, for all you who know what I'm talking about, when they get that like last scene, it's just like so cool. Excuse me. Now this movie is far superior than Friday the 13th. In my opinion, this beats every single Friday the 13th movie. And probably what makes this film so great is it didn't drag it on with like 20 million sequels that would have eventually made the series just go stop already. Like, that's the problem with a lot of these like slasher films, like Nightmare on Elm Street, Halloween, Friday the 13th, and Hellraiser, which is not really a slasher film, but it did get polluted with sequels. And you see, Halloween had potential because it wasn't supposed to be about Mike Myers. It's the first two, and then second two are supposed to be about something else, and then so on and so on. All of it just being the fact that it's on Halloween. And if Friday the 13th would have done something like that, that would have been cool. Like, I like the first three Friday the 13th because but all three of them were different. Like, the first one, it's Jason's mom. Second one, it's actually Jason. Then the third one, he gets that hockey mask, which gives him like, which then became his like symbol, and every single one then afterwards, uh, he became every single one. Then afterwards, he was he had that hockey mask. So I got yawning there, and that's probably why this is so superior to many movies. It's because it's this film, and it just explains it fine. Oh yeah, and if you're watching the beginning scene when he gets burned, you can tell that it's just one big fire suit. They, well, of course he's some guy obviously has to be wearing a fire suit, but like stands out like a bit too much, I thought. And Tom Savini's gore effects are fantastic. I think this is like the bloodiest slasher film. It's not the bloodiest movie ever made, but it is pretty disgusting. It's not like Cannibal Holocaust or Dead Alive disgusting. It's just freaking like the blood's just fantastically done. I'm not like I can do without a lot of blood as just as long as the story's great and the acting is fantastic. And if the blood is done well, like in this masterpiece, I'm perfectly fine with it. If it's done perfectly well and I can tolerate it. And what's great about this movie is it's not overrated by any means. It has a cult following at this point. And for all you people who didn't watch this, you should. It's a fantastic film. Don't even rent it, just buy it. It it's that good. See you later, RKS. Peace.